Hello, I'm Jo Kiminade and I'm talking to John Knorr, CEO and founder of Uglii Corporation, and we're at Post Expo 2014 being held in Stockholm, Sweden. However, John is fresh out of Sri Lanka for a week's work there with the APPU. John, tell us a bit about that.
Well, Jo, we've been working in Asia for a long time. Asia is next to Australia, so it's been very convenient to work with the bigger postal systems and some other partners right through Asia, and that's gone very well. And the APPU conference was an opportunity to get to know some of the smaller partners that we need in the smaller countries. So we've had long relationships with the bigger population countries, and that's an established relationship. But some of those smaller countries in Asia and in the Pacific, we've had no relationship with. So it was a great opportunity to do some work just establishing relationships with them.
John, I believe that Uglii was the only commercial organisation at the conference?
Yes, Jo, I'm not quite sure how we wangled that, but we were the only commercial organisation at the conference, and that was good because we could very quietly sit down with postal industry organisations and consolidate our relationships and give them documents that we've prepared that really describe the effect of the Uglii system in their economies. And that was really well appreciated, particularly by some of the smaller postal systems that may only have a few million people that they serve. So we were dealing with postal systems that range from, I think, 27 post offices up to India Post, which has got 136,000 post offices. So there's a big range of postal systems at that conference.
John, I believe so. There were 36 postal systems altogether, but you were dealing with executives, CEOs.
Yeah, and most of those we know well because we've been dealing with for a long time. So that's just a consolidation process and informing them where our system's at and when it's going to be available to them. But the exciting thing was really with the smaller organisations, the smaller postal systems, and there's a lot of them in Asia, and so that was really exciting to meet with these guys, and some of them were almost overwhelmed by the fact that we've prepared such detailed plans for them for their postal systems and the benefits of the Uglii system in their economy. So it was a great opportunity to educate closely those senior executives of the postal system. So it was quite an emotional time, actually, to tell you the truth.
Okay, now John, you went straight from Sri Lanka to Copenhagen. Uglii was invited to an OECD e-leaders meeting, and again, one of very few commercial organisations. In fact, as far as I understand, there were only two IT commercial organisations, which was Uglii and Google. How did you get on with Google?
Well, actually, it was the first time we'd ever sat down together, and so it was new for both of us, and they learned a bit about us and an emerging giant, I suppose, and it was good, and we've scheduled some later talks for London in a month or so. So that's it. That's interesting.
Okay, and as far as the OECD is concerned, what is their interest in Uglii?
Well, Jo, their most immediate interest in Uglii is one small service that we provide to governments, which is about helping governments present to industry, to business, the rules and regulations that they've got to comply with. Now, governments are notoriously bad at doing this, and organisations such as the EU have been struggling to create rules to force governments to present this information properly. And of course, that's holding back their economies. If you can't communicate rules and regulations clearly to business and investors, then you're way behind the eight ball. So we have a really nice service that we are providing to governments, and that system allows governments to relate their rules and regulations to our taxonomy. We have a taxonomy of 800,000 descriptions of products and services, okay, and and governments can come in and in a very smart process. We've got a very smart process that allows them to tabulate and create links to the relevant bits of legislation that relate to each of those products and services and processes that relate to those. Okay, so it might be the sale of a product or the manufacture of a product, the disposal of a product, whatever, anything that they want to add, a qualification to. So that system's exciting because it allows business and investors to compare the rules and regulations of government. So it means that organisations like the EU and the OECD see Uglii as a process for creating competition between governments to reduce their red tape. That's about the bottom line. So, yep.
Okay, John, were you able to make some connections with any governments that are happy to take on Uglii GovBizMate?
Yeah, Joe. Look, we went there to help the OECD and be part of what they want to identify as an information innovation in the OECD countries, and we were particularly keen to partner with, say, one national government, and we've done a deal with Canada, and one local government, and we're doing a deal with the City of London. So,
not a small local government then.
Not a small local government. Look, very very exciting innovations, and both prestigious organisations. So, I think in about a month's time, governments around the world will be able to see that system in action and that data being contributed by the Canadian government and the City of London. So, yeah, we think that's a bit of a milestone for us. It's an important economic innovation for the world as far as we're concerned, and I think all governments will take an interest in what we're doing there with effectively with the OECD. It's an OECD initiative, effectively. It's our technology, and they're leveraging off what we're doing.
Okay, so apart from Uglii GovBizMate, what else does Uglii offer OECD?
Well, I think the next thing they're interested in is the Uglii procurement processes, and there's a lot of governments around the world that are in trouble with their finances, and our procurement processes are acknowledged by at least 70 governments around the world to be better than anything they've got. So the Uglii procurement processes will be coming into economies as a way of governments to get cleaner procurement, more competitive procurement, which means lower costs, and because our system is highly technical and highly automated, then it's basically providing an economy of scale and automation as well. So that's the next big thing both the EU and the OECD will focus on as far as our systems are concerned. So yeah, we've had a pretty exciting week and a half, I suppose, and then we're here, and this has been very good for us, meeting a lot of postal systems and other organisations. You and I were just talking to a courier system.
Based in Bulgaria,
yeah, based in
with an
Bulgaria.
arm in Romania.
Yeah, and I mean, at the moment we're heading off, or in the next few days we're heading off to Romania to do an induction workshop with the Romanian postal system and some ministers from Romania, and that's an exciting economic development in that region, and at the same time we're pulling in some competition to make sure that these guys keep focused on their task, which is to roll Uglii out in their economy and get the benefits of the Uglii system in their economy. So here is good. Here has been very good for us, and we're of course talking to postal systems, the established postal systems here as well. But it's good to be talking to the innovators in the industry, the new competitors, and we've done a lot of that so far in this conference.
Right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing the workshop at Postal Romana, and yep. I think that certainly the feedback I've had with them as global liaison has been extremely positive, and they're excited about us coming.
They are,
yeah. So we've got good coverage in Asia. We're doing well in Europe with the EU, the OECD, postal conferences, and other organisations. What's next, John?
Well, next is North America, and yeah, we need to do some work there because we don't have a natural partner in the US. The US postal system can't partner with us, and that's a big pity for them.
And that's due to Congress, isn't it?
Yeah, the Congress rules preclude them doing that, so that's a bit of a pity. But they have told us that they're going to use Uglii for procurement, so that they will see some big reductions in their costs as an organisation, and yeah, they're going to pursue that line with us as a client rather than as a partner.
And I believe that we're also looking at doing some work in South America in the near future as well.
Yes, we're just setting up a team to work through South America. We've got good relationships with South America through the embassies in Australia, and we've got somebody that just works full time with the embassies in Canberra in Australia, and she's doing an excellent job. And we've recently engaged another person to work with her in dealing with the Australian government through Canberra. So we're excited about that. And yeah, so we're expanding. Everything's going in the right direction. It's very exciting.
Okay, John, well, thank you very much. I know you've got meetings coming up with other postal systems, so we better finish up here, and thanks for talking to us today.
Thanks, Joe. Thank you.